In the summer of 2021, the woman flew into Miami International with nothing to declare but the clothes she stood in, a phony passport, an iPhone with a broken screen, and a ballpoint pen. The pen didn't work, but did conceal a 2-inch-long razor-sharp blade that could be used to slice open a carotid artery, for example. She looked more than tired, exhausted but fighting it. She had dishwater blonde hair that hadn't been washed recently, a mottled tan, turquoise eyes, and a thin white scar that extended from one nostril down across her lips to her chin. The clothes she stood in were speckled with mud and what the young Customs and Border Patrol officer thought might be dried blood. The clothes reeked of old sweat and something else, like swamp water. Her ragged T-shirt, the only clothing above her waist, worn paper-thin, he could see her nipples pushing out against it, featured a drawing of a llama with a legend that said, "Como se llama?" which the young officer understood as a Spanish pun. She had flown in on United from the Aeropuerto Internacional Jorge Chavez in Lima, Peru. How she'd gotten on the plane, he couldn't even guess. The CBP officer was giving her his best no-admittance stink-eye as he thumbed through her passport. He asked, "Your name is Angeles Chavez?" The woman shook her head. "No." "What?" Hadn't heard that before. He checked her turquoise green eyes. "And what is it?" "I'm not allowed to tell you that." He was about to call for help when the head of the CBP unit stepped up behind his booth, took the passport from his hand, and said, "Let her in." Hadn't heard that before either. He let her in. A man in a plutonium suit and tie was standing a few feet behind his boss, rolling a wooden matchstick between his lips. When the woman whose name wasn't Angeles Chavez stepped past the CBP booth, the man took the matchstick out of his mouth, grinned, and asked, "How you doing, honey bun?" "I think I got a leech up my ass," the woman said. So, then, Letty Davenport was sitting on a battered swivel chair in a near-empty room on the second floor of a warehouse off Statesville Road in Charlotte, North Carolina, watching a door on another warehouse across the street. August was slipping away, but the heat was holding on with both hands, and the warehouse was only somewhat air-conditioned. When she lifted her arms to look through her binoculars, she could smell her armpits, if only faintly, and her face was moist. Letty was 25, of average height, dancer slender and dancer muscled, with dark hair that fell to the nape of her neck. Crystalline blue eyes,